everybody, happy Talk to Me Tuesday. It is Tuesday, March 19th, yes, and I do not have a whole lot to show. This weekend I spent a lot of time putzing around with my Regency gown that I'm trying to work on, and I made a petticoat, and I'll show you that in a second. And today, this is actually Monday, I made a mock-up, and I didn't have muslin, so I just used some old, it's pretty stiff, almost like canvas, that I had laying around just to kind of check the size, make sure that I had something that wouldn't be too small or too gigantic. And so I did that, and I guess I'm ready to cut and go. So yikes. So yes, that is what is happening. So what I did for a petticoat, a real Regency petticoat, was usually an item that um, would drape over top of the chemise, as far as I would understand, which is like a kind of a short tunic, about knee length. And the petticoat was used to give the dress a little bit of form, and also so that in windy weather you wouldn't see the outline of the female's legs. Heaven forbid we see any kind of outline of anything. Um, and so I wanted to have a petticoat, but I didn't really want to buy a pattern. Not that they're super expensive; they're like $15 for a whole pattern full of under things, which would have been really nice. But I don't have time for that either. So someday I will do that. But I found some old fabric my aunt gave me that belonged to my grandmother, and it's old and there's some stains on it, so I probably wouldn't use it for anything else. Although it's a pretty cute fabric, and I just made my own pattern up as I went, and this is what I came up with. So I just made a well, I pleated it, but I didn't really iron pleat it. It doesn't go all the way down, so really it's just a more even gather stitch all the way around. But I thought it turned out pretty well. Not that anyone's going to see it. Um, and I'm missing a hook or an eye closure down here, so I'm going to have to go out and buy one. I don't know what happened to it, so I'll fix that eventually. And it is really get a good, I guess we can call it a bed. This is super awkward. Hey guys. There we go. So it's about yay long. It, when I'm wearing high heels, almost touches the tops of my shoes, so you shouldn't see it underneath the dress. Um, But were I to pick up my gown to avoid getting it doused in mud or wet puddle, it would be there. And it's, hold on, I might die. Just a minute. Okay. So the fabric that I use, I'm wearing tights under this, I promise, is this white, and it has this pattern. It's not, I can't tell how the pattern was put on there. It's some kind of thread. It's soft. It's not like hard plastic or anything, but there are little flowers and dots. So it's kind of dainty, which is nice, and white, so it should go well underneath the blue that I'm using, which is not in this room right now. So yeah, that was my big accomplishment. This took me an evening. And yeah, so I just, really all I did for the pattern was I just used as much of the fabric as I had. I don't know how much it was. It was probably about 3 yards, maybe a little bit more. And I just cut out enough to make the waistband, and everything else I gathered in there and had at it. So yay! And then so I made my mock out, my mock up, my mock out, and it was just kind of stiff fabric. So I'm hoping that it'll be a little bit. I mean, it's going to be more yielding when I sew it with the real fabric, and it's going to fit a little something like this. Not perfect. So it has these gathering stitches here, and it'll rest right about below the bust line. So, um, and in the back, I haven't really looked yet about how it's fastened up, but it'll obviously have fastened. It'll be long sleeved, and I have, oh, it's right here, this scarf, which will be, hold on, This is awkward. It's okay. It's alright. Work with me here, guys. Oh my god, this is so weird. Okay. More or less tucked in something like this into the neckline. So not that it's very immodest, but this is kind of a look that was not wholly unpopular. It's a rather Eleanor Dashwood look, which I'm kind of going for. And the rest of the dress is skirt. It's very plain. So yippee! I look super awkward right now. Woohoo! The only other thing I have to show, I was digging through my fabric stores because I do have some fabric. My grandmother recently moved into her retirement home, and she used to sew, and my aunt sews, and my aunt gave me a couple of bins of her old fabric. Some of it's really old and musty, um, but some of it is decent. So I was sifting through it, and I was trying to think, what can I use, to make like a handbag? What can I use for a bonnet? And I found, and I can't remember. I guess I may have shown this off last time, but I have this fabric that I'm going to use for the bonnet, trimmed with this ribbon. So I'm just still looking for a proper hat. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited, but it's also a little intimidating. I don't want to cut into this fabric and it end up looking like crap. So cross your fingers. So hopefully this time next week I will have something akin to a dress. Next week we get off for spring break. Next Friday, we have a teacher work day, but we don't have to come into school, which is lovely. Um, that Sunday, I'm going to see Wicked with my mother. Well, she's going to see Wicked. I'm trying to convince her to take a friend, but she wants to take me, which is nice. And then the next week we go to New York. So I probably won't have a video week after next. We're going to see my sister who just had her baby today. Her name is Kinley, and yeah, she's very cute. I mean, cute in that newborn, squally, blobbish way, but she's very cute. Um, so I kind of want to be done with as much as I can before I leave because I'll have like a week when I get back, and then I think it's that weekend that I have my tea. So, yay, it's exciting. I really hope this turns out well. Otherwise, no updates in my house. I bought a little secretary desk. It's very cute, but I'll need to refinish. But it's not really worth showing right now. So, that is all for me. I hope you're having a splendid week. Be safe, be healthy. I'm not. It's cool. Bye, guys.